Hello, I'm Richard Raffan. In this video I'm going to turn, or at least I propose to turn this blank into a flat bottom dish which can act as a tray, have straight sides, probably with a little bead on. And so in this video you'll see how I go with that. This is going onto a screw chuck. I don't need all that screws, so I've got a spacer. The blank was cut on the bandsaw, and there's a hole from the compass point in the middle, so a hole goes into that, and you'll see on the drill I've got some little lines, and that shows me how far to go in. So run the lathe slowly, at around 200 or so, and feed the blank on. Cinch it up. And a 6-inch wrist, could do with a longer one. So this is made out of a flat board, so I can just go straight to the sides, which is not something I normally do. Running this just a fraction under 1,000 RPM. A 1/2-inch spindle gouge. You don't go racing off the end, come in from each face. And make sure there are no nasty surprises coming up. That looks fine. Now this is going to have straight sides, so I want to be able to get my fingers under something to help pick it up, and in this case I'm going to have a bead near the top. So at this stage I'm going to come in from here. Tool right on its side and just ease it back. And come round and do the back. Pretty flat. I can true this up with a skewed shear scraper. A little bit more in the middle. Now running at 1200. This is for a 6-inch chuck. Just need a groove wide enough to accommodate the jaws. Undercut that very slightly with a skew on its side. most important thing here is that this bottom surface is flat. So down a little bit in this corner. .180 grit. Alright, boiled linseed oil. Beeswax. Now the recess on this, which I know people want to know, is 2 millimeters, which is a bit less than 1/8 of an inch. It's 3/16 is that, I think. Whatever is slightly less than 1/8 of an inch. Now the reason I can grip that shallower groove on these jaws is that these jaws have a fairly crisp dovetail. There isn't a chamfer on them. If there was a chamfer on them, as there is on so many chucks, you wouldn't be able to do this. And the wider you can grip, the better support you've got. So I want to leave a depth on this of about 15 millimeters thick on the bottom, maybe even slightly more, and that's just over 1/2 inch. 1/2 inch asymmetric bowl gouge. Run this up a bit faster now. I'm up to 1420. First cut's down to the bottom of the hole, depth hole. And you've got to be very careful doing those cuts that the bottom of these coves isn't below that level. If it is, you're in trouble. So 3/4 of an inch square inch scraper, only it's not square, it's got a very slight radius. Multi-straight edge. I've also got a cut down ruler, so any burnish marks are the high spots. And then a little bit out there. side. I'm going to cut that. I don't want that too thin. I'm going to cut that with the 3/8 spindle gouge. Watching what's happening over at about 5 o'clock. Now I want it flat, so it pays to sand that with a block. We'll also go over it initially with some 120. $180. So it ended up 3/8 of an inch thick, which is 10 millimeters, so it's just more than 3/8 of an inch. That just didn't feel right, just felt a bit thick, although it really isn't. It's perfectly adequate. But I'm going to take it down another 1/8 of an inch or so. Probably hear it sounding a bit thinner now. Feel the lump there. That feels a lot better, a lot lighter. Sounds lighter. Worth the effort. When it came to it, I wasn't satisfied with the thinner version, so it's gone back on the lathe. It's down yet again, and I'm just at the final sanding stage now. This is now down to 1/4 of an inch at the thickest part, so over the recess, it'll be where the chuck is, it'll be 1/8 of an inch thinner than that, or just a bit less. Now I'm sanding here with oil. I'm using some rice oil, just ordinary cooking oil, just to thin down the oils in the wood, the waxes in the wood. And that just means I get a bit more out of the abrasive. And the paste which builds up, that will clean off all right. So that was 240 grit. Now the 320. We've got a kind of slurry going round, which is quite messy but effective. So there's nothing really wrong with the first piece as it came off the lathe. It was just a bit heavy in the base, like so many of us, and could do with losing a bit of weight. It doesn't take that long and is worth doing, or at least I think it's worth doing. Oh, much lighter. Yeah, much better, much thinner. Holds more. Better value for money.